Yeah, so let's just start the class now. So yesterday we have talked about basic coding in Python, like why Python, why we need Python in data science and data analytics. And we have solved like some of the basic things like variables in Python, data types in Python. And after that, we have started with the strings. And in strings, we have learned about some basic functions like index, upper, lower, and something like let's start with our new thing. Let's start with strings again and try to understand how strings can help us in coding. And we'll solve like different functions in strings. So let's start the class. So now in this class, I will tell you about some of the functions in string, and then we'll move towards the different concept. So let's take an example. So suppose if I have written Durgesh here, and if I want to replace something in Python. So if I want to replace something in Python, to replace something in Python, what I can do is I can write print a dot replace, and after that, what what we have to replace, that we have to write first. So suppose I want to replace you, and now with what I want to replace it. So let's write G here. Yeah, I think upper and lower you haven't learned. Allow me some time, I will teach you again. I think this is a different sheet with the same name. So I will teach you this upper and lower are the only thing that are missing. Else you know all these things. Split is also remaining. This is just because I think the sheet name was same or something have like misplaced or what. So I will teach again, don't worry. So yeah, so first of all we are trying to understand replace thing. So if you want to replace something in Python or in a string, then what you have to do is you have to use a replace function. Now replace function takes two parameter, what you want to replace and with what. So if I have taken, I want to replace my u. So first you have to write what you want to replace. And second thing will be with what you want to replace it. So I want to replace my u with g. And when I have run this program, I am getting this thing as an output. So my u is replaced with the help with g here. Now let's talk about the functions that are there in this class and I haven't told you about it. So let's talk about this upper comma lower. So these are basically very simple functions. So if you have a name written as a is equal to Durgesh, and if you want to cast it, like if you want to change this name in complete uppercase, then what you have to do is you have to write a dot upper, and inside upper you don't have to drop anything. Let's try to run this. So if you use upper function, your name or any string that you have entered will change into a uppercase. So it's only like uppercase and lowercase. So if I use lower here, then all the letters that are here in my string will be changed into a lowercase. So that was the only thing, like upper and lower. Now if we talk about a very important function which is known as split and string. Now, for example, if I have written a is equal to Durgesh. Now, I want to split all the characters in my name. So if I will write print and I will write a dot split. So I will use the split function. As I have written a split function, let's try to run it and see what happens. See, nothing has changed here. Nothing has changed here because if you are using a split function, if you are using a split function, You first have to specify something like with what value or with what character you want to split it. But in our case, if we'll write u here, let's try to write u here and let's try to run it. See what happened is it wherever it has encountered u, it has replaced like it has splitted it. So if you see here from point u, everything that is left side of u has taken a single place, and everything that is right side of the u has taken a single place with the two. So right now we have two entities, and previously we have only one, which is Durgesh. So if you want to split something, if you want to split your string with something, you can do it. So let's take an example. If I am writing here, now if I don't write anything here, tell me what will happen if I run this code. So if I run this code, what will happen is every point of time when you are using a split function and you are not giving any value, like you are not giving any separator from which you want to split, by default it will split it with the help of a space. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you? Okay. So these are very, very like basic, very simple things that we are doing currently. Now, let's talk about some other things that are there in Python. Yeah, same as delimiter works. So for example, if I have written, let's take one more example to explain you. So if I have written d comma u comma r comma g comma e comma s comma h, and in this I have dropped comma. Let's see what will happen. See, see, what will happen is with the help of a comma, look, with the help of a comma, all these letters are splitted, and all these have got a different place here. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now there is something known as strip in Python. Now strip in Python is also very important. So all these things that I'm currently teaching you now are kind of inbuilt functions in Python strings. So the functions that I'm teaching you, those are only required for you to have a good knowledge in the analytics and other things. So just try to focus on those functions. So if I have written a is equal to Durgesh, and see what happens is whenever you are using any file or you are importing any data set or CSV file in Python, so at that point of time, many of the times you can see lot of spaces and lot of disturbance in the data. See, every time data will not be like clean. So right now if you see here, there are lot of spaces at the starting of my name and some spaces at the ending of my name. So if I want to put a condition, if A is equal to Durgesh, so I will print yes, else, print no. So now tell me what I will get if I'll run this code. What will be the output if I'll run this code? It will give me no as an output. Why it is giving me no as an output? Because see, understand, whenever you have a value like this, then all these places are basically spaces. So if you want to clear this kind of data, what you have to use is you have to use strip function. Strip A. So now strip function is like, let me explain you. So there are two kind of strip, L strip and R strip. So if I'm using L strip, or let's write here A dot strip is equal to Durgesh. And now let's run it. See, we are getting yes. So now from this we can understand that strip function, like strip function, what it does is, so for example, if you have extra spaces in your name, something like this, so it will remove all the extra spaces from your name only from left and right hand side. It will not remove any space from the between. Only from the right hand side and only from the left hand side. It will remove all the space and it will give you a clean name as Durgesh. So when you are doing analysis on a large scale, so for example, if I have a lot of data for employees and if someone wants to fetch Durgesh's data. So for example, if data is there in this kind of form and if they will put a condition where name is equal to Durgesh, will they get the data? The answer is no, because they are thinking that data is in very clean format, but actually data is not in clean format. So every time when you are trying to like search something, or you are trying to map something, or you are trying to put a filter, try to use trim. Like try to use strip. So strip is same as trim in SQL. So you must have heard L trim, R trim. Same like this, there is L strip, R strip, and strip. Is this clear to all of you? So I am saying that, see, a strip is a function that is used for removing extra spaces either from the left side or right hand side. So these are the extra spaces here. So if I will use a strip, it will remove both the spaces from left hand side and right hand side. But if I only want to remove it from left hand side, then I can use L strip, something like this, A dot L strip. And if I want to remove something from the end, like spaces or anything from the end, so not anything, you can say spaces from the end, then I have to use R strip. And if you want to do it from both sides at a single time, then you can use only strip. So now let's try to solve one question here. So now what you have to do is you have to take input in the form of a string, in the form of a string. Then you have to check if there is a extra space from left hand side or right hand side. If there is a space any of the side, then you have to print yes, else you have to print no. So this is the question. So you have to write a program in which user will input a string, and after inputting that string, the second thing will be to check whether there is a space in left hand side or right hand side. If there is a space in between, like if there is a space in either of the sides, then you have to press, like you have to print yes, else you have to print no. You can write it in your chat box. Is this clear to all of you? Like how many of you can solve this question? Let's try to do this. So first we'll take our input. Now, if A dot split, see the point is it's not 100% correct that I am using only like Durgesh. Let's take an example. If I have written if the same thing, let's see this code. So first I have written if A dot strip is equal to Durgesh. So let's take an example. Let's take an input. Now suppose you got an input as something like this. If you got something like this, so what I will write is if A dot strip is equal to A. So what this condition means, tell me. If I have written if A dot strip is equal to A, what this means? If this condition is correct, what is the meaning of this condition? It basically means that if I'm removing all the spaces from left and right, and if that is exactly equal to the input that we have given, which means there is no space involved. See, let's understand now. Suppose I have given Durgesh like this. So what will be the value of Durgesh after using strip? It will be Durgesh only, no spaces. And if Durgesh equal to the value which is here? So let's take an example. So Durgesh, so basically, when I am writing Durgesh, and if I am writing these two things are equal, no. So if these two things are not equal, which means there is an extra space in the input. So if there is extra space in the input, we have to print no here, because as per our question, we have to print yes only when these two things are exactly not same. So basically in this question, we will check if there is a extra space from left hand side or right hand side, then we have to print yes. So if these two things are equal, which means there is no space, so we will print no, else we will print yes. Now let's try to run this program. So first it will ask me the string. So I will put 3 4 spaces and I will write Durgesh and again spaces. So tell me, if I'll enter it, it will give me answer yes. And as soon as if I will enter it without a space, it will give me an answer no. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. See, basically, in today's class, we are learning like easy things. I'm not going any hard level or anything. Now let's try to understand what is slicing in strings. Slicing in string. So now this topic is little important. So first try to understand one thing. So suppose if there is a string a is equal to mm, Lucknow. If there is a string a is equal to Lucknow, and what I am doing is, see, first you have to understand how to give slicing. So if I am writing a and I'm using a square bracket, so let's understand the basic things first. So let's take a is equal to Lucknow, and I am writing a of 1. Now what will be the value of a of 1? In Python, indexes start from which? The indexes start from 0 in Python. So if I'm writing a of 1, then the answer will be u. So now it tells you that if you are writing only a single letter or only a single parameter in this slicing, then it will give you the first value that you want to print. Now you can understand this as this first value is a start value. Now after this, I will write 2 here. Now tell me, what is this 2? When I have used a colon here, I have written 2 here. What is the value of this 2? So every time this first thing that you have entered here is a start. So I will explain you. So first thing that you are entering here is start. After start, the second thing that you enter is ending, where you want to end. And now the third thing, which is optional. See, all the things are optional. If you are not putting ending, only starting, then also it will work. If you are only putting the starting, then also it will work. If you are only putting the ending, then also it's work. But I'm just telling you that there are three parameters in this: start, end, and skip. So if I have written A1 colon 2, which means I am telling that it will start from 1 and it will end at 2. So what will be the answer here? Tell me. Let's understand. Starting from 1, which will start from you. It will start from you and will go till second index. So what is the second index? 0, 1, 2, which is C. But what do you think what will be the answer here? The answer will be only you. Now I explain you why the answer will be you. See, every time when you are using slicing, start always remains as start only. But the ending value that you give is always ending minus 1. And the skip value you give, that is also skip minus 1. So this is the exact scenario. So when you are giving starting, ending, and skip, the ending value that you give is always ending minus 1, and the skip value that you give is also always skip minus 1. So now let's understand one more thing. So I have written 1 colon 2 colon 1. So just change it. So if I have written something like this, now tell me what will be the output. So we have to start from 1 we have to go till 3, and we have to skip nothing because 1 minus 1 is 0, 4 minus 1 is 3. So we have to start from 1 and go till 3. Let's try to run this. UCK is the output. Any questions still here, because we are going towards more advanced things in slicing. So till now, anybody has any question? Okay, let's move forward. So now I will change something. Now I will write 5 here, I will write 3 here, and I will write 2 here. Now tell me what will be the output. See, if you learn slicing, many of the things will be easy for you. So tell me, if I have written 5 colon 3 colon 2, so what will be the answer for this? Okay, so in this scenario, what you have to understand is if you are using slicing, so this is basically positive slicing. This is basically positive slicing because nothing negative is there. So first we are talking about positive slicing. So positive slicing means all the values that are here are positive values. So in that case, starting must be lower than ending. In positive slicing, see, can you move from 5 to 3? So if your start is 5 and your end is 3, which means you are in a positive slicing and you cannot move from 5 to 3. You can move from 3 to 5. So if I'm writing 5 to 3, it tells me that this is the fifth index. Now where to go? So in this scenario, every time when you are using slicing, and if starting is greater than ending, if starting is greater than ending, then you will not get any output. But let's check. See, you are not getting any output because starting is greater than ending. Is this clear to you, all of you? Okay. Now let's solve a different question. Oh, Pratiksha, you can ask Pratiksha. Like, give me a minute. Yeah. You can turn on your mic and you can ask me the question, Pratiksha.
Regarding skip minus 1, then how come 5 is greater than 2, but why we are not having any output here?
See, what is our starting?
5.
So we in slicing we always move from start to end. If
Yes.
all the values are positive. So
Hmm?
if you will move from start to end, so your start is already 5,
Hmm.
which means start is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is O.
Huh.
So as you know, all the values are positive, and if you want to go towards 3, then you have to move in the negative direction because
Okay.
3 is at this place.
Huh.
K. So you cannot move in a negative direction if you are using all the values as positive. So if you are using positive slicing, you always have to write your starting as lower and your ending as higher. Now it will give
Okay.
you a value.
So now it will start from CKNOW.
Now it will start from, see, it will start from 2. So if it will
Huh.
start from 2, 0, 1, 2. So it will find C. So it will start from
Yes.
C. Now
Yes.
it has to go to 4. But 4 minus 1 is C. Ending is 4, but it will be always value minus 1. So 4 minus 1, what it will be? 3.
Three.
So
Yes.
it will start from 2 and it will go till 3. So it will only
C
print
K
this one.
L.
But you
Huh?
know that it will go from C to K, but it is also telling you that you have to skip
Keep
one
one.
index. So if between C and K I have to skip one index, then what will be the output?
C.
Correct.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So now what we can do is, now let's try to understand negative slicing. See, positive slicing is very easy. So now in negative slicing, starting index must be greater than ending index. So in negative slicing, start index must be greater than the ending index. So now try to understand how actually this thing works. So if I have written Lucknow, so I will write Lucknow. So this is something like this. So what is the value of W here? See, whenever you are doing a negative slicing, so if you want to understand how these values can get negative index, so every time if you will start index from that, see, if you start from starting, index starts from 0. But if you start from ending, then index always starts from -1. So W is at -1 position, O is at -2 position, and L is at -7 position. This thing is clear to all of you. So if you'll start from starting, then it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you start from ending, then it will be -1, -2 till -7. So if you are counting, if you are indexing from start, then it will start from 0. If you are indexing from last, then it will be from -1. Is this clear to all of you till here? Is this clear to all of you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's try to understand a question. So let's take an example. A is equal to Abhishek. And now I will write A of, and you people have to give me the answer. A of -3, -2, and -1. If I have given something like this, then tell me what is the answer. What will be the answer?
S.
What? Just tell me one thing. Uh, what I have written here. Starting index. Let me change the spelling. Index must be greater than the ending index. If we are comparing -3 and -2, what is greater?
Minus
Minus.
2 is better.
What is greater?
-3 and -2, right? -2 would be greater than minus.
Yeah, so starting index is smaller than the ending index.
Yes.
It will give me any output? No, nothing. So now if I write -2 here, and I write -3 here. And who will tell me like what is the meaning of this -1? See, starting and ending you know because you are seeing it here. But what is the meaning of this minus?
Skip.
So this -1 is nothing. See, just understand it that minus is just a sign here. It is telling you that you have to reverse. Minus is just a sign here that is telling you that you have to reverse. Now, what is 1 here? So 1 is again the skip index. And if I am writing 1 there, then it will always be 1 minus 1 that I have told you in starting. So if I am writing in the third parameter -1, then what is the meaning of -1? It is just telling you that you have to reverse the things, but you don't have to skip anything because the value is 1 there. If the value is 2 there, it means that you have to skip one thing. But if the value is only -1, which means you have to reverse, but 1 means 1 minus 1, which is 0. Skip -1, which is 0. So you don't have to skip anything. So now tell me what will be the output of this question, this thing.
E.
What will be the output?
E.
E.
EHS.
Correct.
It will start from N and it will take three letters from E, H, and S. Correct, na?
Yeah. So now this is one thing that we have done. Now let's understand one more thing. So now we'll change it little bit. See why I'm focusing on the slicing because this will help you a lot when you will have lot of questions in your data frames and all. So now let's understand one more thing in slicing. So like I am writing A is equal to Abhishek again, and now I am writing just A and colon -1. So now before answering it to me, just tell me that if I have written nothing here, then what will be the value here? What will be the value here in this starting? If I have written nothing here, then what will be the default value here? I told you in the starting that if you will not in positive slicing, if you will not enter anything, the default value will be 0. But in negative slicing, what will be the default value?
-1.
Mine.
Why you think
But it
it
will
will?
start from zero.
No, no, no. So I think
Okay,
minus
it's the
one.
first letter. No, 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 it's the first letter. Then it should be the reverse calculation.
Okay. We'll understand this. So first of all, we'll run this out.
-8.
Like I will tell you. First of all, we'll run this. So it is directly giving you a reverse. It is directly giving you a reverse because you have told him that minus means you have to reverse it. And if I have written 1, which is basically 1 minus 1, which is 0. So you have to reverse it without skipping anything. This thing is clear to everyone. Now, if I will write, just tell me who has given me the answer -1, the default value. So we'll write that -1 here. And what do you think? What will be the ending value? What do you think? What will be the ending value here? See, I just want to get the same output by dropping values here. So I just wanted to know what will be the default values. So
One now.
somebody is telling me -8. So let's write -8 here. Are we missing something? So somebody is telling me
E.
-9 also. So Karan, you were right in the first go when you told me that -1 will be there. So -1 will be your starting index. See, I told you again, see, if you are doing negative, see, when you have seen -1 there, and there was two default values that you have to put, at that point of time, you must know that I have told you in starting index must be greater than the ending index. So if you want to, okay, so see, I told you in starting that starting index must be greater than the ending index. So if you, when you have told me that's answer -1, which is completely correct, because if you are starting from negative, what is your starting? Tell me. When you are starting from negative indexes, what is your starting? When you are reversing something, what is your starting? Your starting is -1, and ending is the last, which is -7 for Lucknow. I'm giving the example. And now this -1 just tells you that you have to skip. Like, sorry, you have to reverse and you have to skip 1 -1, which is 0. Let's take one more example. Let's take one more example. So I will write here colon -2. Now tell me what will be the answer. Let's run it. So see, the starting is from K, which is -1. The ending is still A, which is -9. And those are the default values. Now -2. So minus tells you that you have to reverse. And this 2 tells you that 2 -1, which means 1. You have to skip 1 only. So it started from K, it skipped E, then it taken H, then again skipped, then taken I, then again skipped, then taken B, and that's all. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So that is something all about slicing in Python. So slicing in strings. See, slicing works same in list also, but when we'll talk about list, we'll see that thing. Now let's try to solve some questions. So let's click on the code part. And now I will ask you a question that, okay, so suppose we have, you can say, suppose we have a string as, you have a string as 1, 2, 3. So now let's make it little complicated. Suppose you have to input a number. You have to input a number and you have to check, you have to check if you reverse that number, if you reverse that number, is it equal to the number? Like, let's give you an example. Like, okay, so I'm just talking about if I have given a number 1, 2, 3. If I reverse 1, 2, 3, it will be 3, 2, 1. Is 1, 2, 3 equal to 3, 2, 1? The answer is no. So you have to write the same program for me in which I will input a number and I want to check whether the number and the reverse of that number is equal or not. If it is equal, I want to print yes, else I want to print no. Anybody of you who can tell me how to solve it? So let's try to solve it. So firstly, I will take a number, int input. Now I have taken a number, but if the things that I have learned till now, what I will do is I will cast this number into a string, because I know if I want to check the reverse, I can simply do if my b, sorry, if my number, so number is basically casted in a string, then now it's b. So if b is equal to b colon colon minus 1, which means if I'm writing a number 1 2 3, and if it is converted into a string, then 1 2 3, if I will compare it with it, it will like compare it with it, then it will be 3 to 1. So is 1 2 3 equal to 3 to 1? The answer is no. So it will not execute this line, it will directly go into else. So let's try to run this program. So if I have input 1 2 3, the answer will be no. But as soon as I have inputted 1 to 1, the output will be yes. So this thing is known as palindrome number in Python. So when you want to check a number is palindrome or not, then you can do it like this way. And there is one other way also to check whether a number is palindrome or not. So we are talking about this way right now, but yeah, as soon as we'll move forward, we can check it in other way also. Now I have one more question for all of you. Okay. See, so yes, what I have done is, firstly, suppose I have a number 1 2 3. So you know that number is not a string, but you have learned the concept of slicing in a string, and you know that how to reverse a string. So what I am doing is I am trying to make my 1 2 3 as a string. So in the second line, I have casted it. So now my 1 2 3 looks like this. And I have stored this 1 2 3 string value in my B. And now what I am doing is, in the third line, I am checking if B, which means if 1 2 3 is equal to. So now what is colon colon minus 1? It directly means that I have to reverse it. So is it equal to 3 to 1? If it is equal to 3 to 1, then it will go inside this line of control. Else, no. Is this clear to you, Yash? Okay. So this was a basic question. Now, you people have any questions, you can ask. If you people have any questions. Now let's talk about one more thing in the last. So suppose I have a number 1 2 3. If I want to get, if I want to get last digit of my number, if I want to get last digit of my number, tell me how I will get it. Yes, and it will work. No, 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 it will not work. See, you have taken a as an input in the form of integer. So if you'll directly drop this condition, it will not work. So now tell me this one, like if I want to get the last digit of my number, how I will do it? See, till now, the things that you have learned, you will directly do it. Like you will change it in a string. then you will like you will take the -1 index of it, and you can also convert it into a integer by casting it. But I will tell you a different technique. So whenever you want to get a digit of a number, what you have to do is you have to just write a modulus 10. Whenever you want to get the last digit of any number, you have to write number modulus 10. Now, what is the meaning of this modulus? Who will tell me the meaning of this modulus? Suppose if I have written 38. Now tell me, just understand that this modulus means remainder. So if I divide 38 by 10, if I divide 38 by 10, then what will be the remainder? 8. Now let's take a big number. Suppose the number is 4567. If I divide it by 10, what will be the remainder?
7.
7. So every time if you want to get the last digit of a number, then what you have to do is you have to take a modulus. Now, I am going to give you a homework kind of thing with the mathematics part. I want the same question that you have done, like the same thing that you have done, the reverse. I want to do it in the form of numbers only. In form of, so I don't want to cast it into a string and then use a slicing thing. I just want a code in which a user will input a number, suppose 1, 2, 3. And now what I want is I want to check that number is palindrome or not. Palindrome is basically the number is equal to reverse of it or not. So this is the question that I want you to solve. So what do you think, what can be the approach to solve this? No, Senthil. 1, 2, 3 is a single value. It's not 1, comma 2, comma 3. Then why will you use loops? And I haven't teached you loops till now.
We can use the same code that we used earlier. B string of A.
No, that
Then
is something that we know. I just want like the thing that I have told you here, this division, this remainder. Can we do this thing with the help of this modulus and remainder and all these things with mathematics? This,
Hello.
yeah, hello.
I think so. It can't be done because and we have to find mid value. For mid value, we have to find mid index. For mid index, we have to make it string. Even when we use palindrome, we have to divide it in two parts. For that, we have to find the midpoint.
Okay. Let other people think as well. Prachi, I have teased you this question personally.
Yeah, but it was in string form.
No, it was in number form also. And if you check your sheet, the answer will be there. And when
Okay,
I will
I'll.
teach you right now, then also you will get that, yeah, you have learned it. So now
Oh,
let's try to do it. So what we will do is we will try to first find out the digit of this number. We'll write a code A modulus 10. After that, I will take a variable in which I will store my reverse number. So if I want to take a variable in which I want to store my reverse number, first what I have to do is I have to take my reverse number as 0. First, I will not put anything there. Now, there is something known as, see, the point is, I just want to understand the logic from you people. It's not like I want you to write the complete code. So if I put a tab here, you are seeing a kind of code, and I can explain you this code as well. See, while is basically a kind of loop only, but you don't have to worry about while right now. Just see that. Let's make it simple. Let's make it simple. And yeah, and we'll write plus t. Okay. So suppose my number is 123. So this condition will be checked. Is 123 greater than 0? While जब तक 123 greater than 0 है. So is 123 greater than 0? Yes. Then what we have
Yes.
to do is we have to take a remainder of 123 when it is divided by 10. So what will be the remainder here?
3.
3. Now what we have, let's go to third line. And third line, r is basically 0 at the starting. So r is equal to 0 into 10. Will be 0 only. Plus what? Plus d. And what is the value of d? 3. So the value of r in this line will be 3 only. Correct. Now what we are doing in the third line is a is equal to a double divided by 10, which means a is equal to a divided by 10. So 123 is there. If I divide 123 by 10, then what will be the output? 12.3, correct or not?
Correct.
But if you will use a double divide, then it will only give you the value left side of the point value, which is 12 only.
1, 2.
12, 12. Only the left side value it will give. Floor value, which is called floor value. So whenever you are dividing something by using double divide sign or double slash, at that point of time, it will not give you the decimal values. It will only give you the left side value, like it will give you the left side value of decimal. So now till here, everybody is clear till this line.
Yeah.
Now, see, while is a kind of loop. So until this value is not great, see, until and unless this value is greater than 0, it will run continuously. So now at this point of time, now our value of a is 12 for the first step. Now let's again check. Is 12 greater than 0? 12
Yes.
is greater than 0. Now what we will do is d is equal to a modulus 10 again. So now the value of d will be 12 modulus 10 will be
2.
2. And now the value of r, last time the value of r was 3. So now 3 into what?
10
10 plus
plus
d, which is 2.
2.
So what is the value here? 32. And now now let's again divide 12 by double divide by 2. Then what will be the value here? If we divide 12 by 10,
1.
so 1 will be the value. Now again it will go to the loop. Is 1 greater than 0? The answer is yes. So now the value of a is 1. Now what will the value of d?
1 divided by
See, the value of 1 will be 1 only. If you modulus anything by 10, it will give you the, see, if you modulus anything by 1, the output will be 1 only.
1.
So now what is there is, now what you have to do is r is equal, now r has a value 32. So now what will be the value here? 32 into 10
320 plus 1.
plus 1.
321.
So 321, which is basically what? The reverse of the number that you have given there. And now this 1 double divided by 10 will give you a value 0. So now is 0 greater than 0? The answer is no. So the execution will
It will
come
print out.
outside. execution will come outside, it will print R here. Is this clear to all of you? So don't worry about while loop now. I will teach you about while loop. I just want to tell you that this question can be done with mathematics also. But see, I am able to do it because I have practiced previously a lot. But you will also be able to do it when I will teach you it in a good sense. Currently, I just want you to tell some kind of example. That's it. So that's all from my side.
Durgesh, one question.
Yeah,
If we haven't used a while statement,
yeah.
this wouldn't have been executed in a
No,
loop.
no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
See, why while will work here? See, if you use for loop, then for loop will not work. In this kind of
Exactly.
situations, only while loop works.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have a concept of while, do while. But do while and other concepts are used in C++ and Java. In Python, we use while loop only. So when I will teach you while loop and I will teach you about loops, I will make these things clear.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so that's all from my side. See, these are the basic classes till now. So you will move towards advanced in the next classes. But yeah, first I want to teach you basics, like you must have understanding.